Let's talk about a place on the very edge of Singapore, a place most people have heard of, but almost nobody really knows. It's an area that's absolutely vital to the country's survival, but it's also hiding a pretty huge secret. We are talking about Tuas.
And here is that secret right off the bat. Just look at this. The number of permanent families living in Tuas is 0. That's right, none. This is a massive, sprawling industrial district, and there's no public housing, no condos, not a single permanent resident. It's basically a city without any citizens.
So that's the big question, isn't it? If it's a total ghost town at night, why is Tuas one of the most powerful and strategic spots in the entire country? What in the world is actually going on out there in the far, far west?
To get to the bottom of this, we've got to start with its reputation. We need to unpack the myth of Tuas, this zero-resident city. And that story really begins with its name and what it means to Singaporeans. For years, for decades really, this is what people would call it the end of the world. If you were going to Tuas, you were going to the absolute edge of the island, a place that felt a million miles away from the city. And that reputation, it came from its history as a really isolated and undeveloped coast.
You know, the name itself actually gives you a clue about its humble past. Tuas comes from the Malay word menuas, which basically means to haul something up or to use a lever. It's a direct callback to an old fishing technique they used there, a simple name for what was, once upon a time, just a collection of simple fishing villages.
But that simple past, oh, that is long gone. The story of modern Tuas is one of the most radical transformations you can imagine. We're talking about turning a quiet swamp into a global superhub. And the speed at which this happened is, well, it's just staggering.
Okay, just think about this timeline for a second. In the 1970s, it's just a swamp. By the 80s, Singapore is literally building new land out of the ocean for factories. Then at 98, the Second Link Bridge opens, making it this major gateway to Malaysia. And by the 2040s, it's going to be home to the world's largest fully automated port. From mud to a mega port, all within a single lifetime. It's wild.
And I really want you to understand the scale of this Tuas Mega Port project. This isn't just about building another dock. No. This is the biggest infrastructure move in the nation's entire history. Singapore is methodically shutting down all its other container ports around the city and moving everything, literally everything, to this one giant automated, futuristic hub.
So why? Why do all of this? Why pour billions and billions of dollars into a place where nobody even lives? Well, this gets us to the very heart of Tuas's purpose. It is quite literally Singapore's engine room. It provides the raw power, both economic and strategic, that the country needs to function.
The power of Tua really stands on 3 main pillars. First, there's shipping, with that incredible megaport that represents the future of logistics. Second is biomedical, a sort of quiet giant in global health. And third, you've got utilities, the absolute essential services that keep the lights on and the water running for everybody else.
Yeah, tucked away in the Tuas Biomedical Park are some of the biggest names in medicine on the planet. I mean, we're talking Pfizer, Roche, MSD, all these global giants, and they're manufacturing a massive portion of the world's most advanced medicines and vaccines right here in this remote corner of Singapore. And this is a perfect illustration of its role as the nation's workhorse. See, Tuas is where you put the stuff you absolutely cannot live without, but maybe you don't really want living next door. The main power station is there, the giant incineration plants that handle the country's waste are there, and these incredible desalination plants that turn seawater into drinking water for millions, they're there too.
But its importance isn't just about money or utilities. Tuas is also a critical strategic gateway. Out on the water, you've got a key naval base for the Singapore Navy, guarding those crucial sea lands. And on land, it's the Tuas checkpoint, that second major bridge to Malaysia, which makes it absolutely vital for both defense and for trade.
So we have this absolute powerhouse of industry, logistics, and strategy, which brings us right back to that paradox we started with. Who is actually here? Who are the people in this place without people? This place that's buzzing with activity by day but totally deserted by night.
Okay, so here's the key distinction you have to make. While the number of permanent residents is 0, the daily population is massive. We're talking tens of thousands of people. It's a huge, transient workforce. It's made up of local Singaporeans who commute in for their shifts, plus a huge population of migrant workers, many of whom live in purpose-built dormitories nearby.
And you can really get a sense of this unique population just by listening to the languages you'd hear on the ground. Sure, you'll hear what you might call industrial English for safety briefings and management, but the languages you'll hear most often across the shipyards and building sites are actually Tamil and Bengali. It's a direct reflection of the massive workforce from South Asia that builds and runs this place.
So what does this all mean? Well, because of this unique population, Tuas is governed totally differently. A normal town in Singapore has a town council, and it has to answer to the residents who live there. But with no residents and no voters, Tuas is managed directly by government industrial planners like JTC Corporation and the Maritime Port Authority. It's a place governed purely for function, not for people.
But hey, don't mistake all that function for a complete lack of soul. For this last part, let's uncover some of the secrets of the far west, the surprising little pockets of culture and, well, humanity that have popped up in this concrete landscape.
Believe it or not, people actually come out here for fun. You've got long-distance cyclists who make a pilgrimage to the legendary Tuas Lamppost 1. It's a thing. They stick a sticker on it to prove they made it to the end of the world. Photographers flock to the Raffles Marina Lighthouse to get that perfect sunset shot, and you can even take a tour of the famous Tiger Brewery.
And this kind of brings us full circle, right? Even with all its modern, global importance, Tuas still has this special place in the national mindset. The phrase, going to Tuas, still means you're about to go on a really long journey, that you're heading out to the very edge, the psychological limit of the island.
From a tiny fishing village to a fully automated super hub, the story of Tuas is just an incredible story of change. But it also leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As machines and automation increasingly power our world, in places exactly like the Tuas Mega Port, what does that mean for the role of people, for us, in the cities of tomorrow?